On this episode of Cape Media News, we've got an update on roadwork projects. Senator Julian Cyr makes a pitch for single-payer health care, and a redevelopment project for downtown Hyannis gets the green light. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Sarah Colvin. A number of roadwork projects are underway across Cape Cod. Work continues in Yarmouth to install a large natural gas main on White's Path. This is an extensive project that will be in progress for several months. The work will progress east on White's Path to Great Western Road and eventually under High Bank Bridge in Dennis. Meanwhile, Barnstable Department of Public Works is creating a four-way stop at the intersection of Strawberry Hill Road and Old Craigville Road in Centerville. That project begins Monday. Crews will be in place from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. through Wednesday. The Massachusetts Department of Transportation will begin the next phase of work on its big intersection improvement project at Route 28 and Burses Way in Hyannis. The next phase begins Monday. That'll last through the 1st of December. Traffic will be detoured on Route 28 eastbound. You want to head south on Burses Way, then northeast on Walton Ave, connecting back with Route 28. Crews will be at work from 6:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening weekdays. No work, though, will be done over the Thanksgiving holiday. As always, do use caution when driving in work zones and make every effort to seek an alternate route. Meanwhile, Chatham selectmen want changes to a proposed redesign of the busy intersection of Kroll Road and Route 28. Tuesday, the Board of Selectmen voted to ask for a scaled-back version of plans to improve that intersection, according to the Cape Cod Chronicle. Critics of the plan say it is too urban for the area. They want an understated, safe entrance to the town that complies with Mass DOT criteria. Up next, a renaissance for downtown Hyannis.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Imagine a busy, bustling Main Street Hyannis full of upwardly mobile young professionals, successful business people, and urban-minded residents living, working, and playing in the area. Restaurants, retail, and culture are steps away on Main Street, and residents enjoy walking from their Pleasant Street homes to enjoy all that Hyannis has to offer. Now imagine, instead of a row of abandoned, dilapidated buildings along Pleasant Street, a neighborhood-style market-rate apartment complex designed for upwardly mobile young professionals. Well, that's the idea behind Rob Brennan's Sea Captain's Row project, a development of 60 market-rate rental units that's moving forward now the Barnstable Town Council has approved a regulatory agreement with Cape Built Development for the project. Council approved the project 11-1 Thursday night and heard testimony from many hoping to see a revitalization of downtown Hyannis.
We stand here tonight in support of the regulatory agreement for the proposed Sea Captain's Row, which will bring much-needed market-rate housing options for the Cape's workforce. So you have a momentous opportunity to accomplish multiple goals, increase the much-desired compact urban form of homes within reach of our workforce, and also increase the property values for the neighbors. We believe if the original Sea Captains could see their homes today, they would be cheering you on to restore the street to a thriving neighborhood filled with amenities they could only imagine.
I'm here as an individual here on behalf of my role And I really see the Sea Captain's Row as a significant contribution, a meaningful way to add to the quality of life of Cape Cod, particularly here in Hyannis.
And that's someone who this would very much so be of interest to become my home, whereas Cape Cod has been my home since I was born. I'd like to keep it that way. This is an opportunity. It's hope that that'll be a reality.
Increasing the density in housing in downtown by adding 60-unit housing should be looked as a project that the entire downtown needs. Not a project that we want, but a project that the downtown needs. So why am I so in favor of increasing the density in downtown housing? Because retail follows residential. Retail investment follows residential. Retail investment follows residential investment. Increasing the density of downtown housing in downtown Hyannis will lead to many, many positive results.
This is the kind of project that we worked so hard for so many years. The bid and the town and the chamber together, trying to attract developers to the downtown, to increase the value to not only residents but to our local businesses, which are struggling a lot at the moment.
It's 11 in favor. That passes. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No word yet on when work on the multi-million-dollar project will begin. Longtime Mid-Cape staple Benny's is no more. The store where you could get anything closed its doors for good on Friday, November 17th. After 93 years in business, Benny's ownership made a decision to close all of its stores in New England, citing stiff competition with online retailers as the biggest reason for its dwindling revenue. Benny's operated 31 stores in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Up next, could single-payer health care be in the future for Massachusetts? Massachusetts legislators continue to work to revise health care in the state. On November 9th, the state Senate adopted an amendment sponsored by Senator Julian Cyr that charges the state with measuring the impact a single-payer system would have on the cost and delivery of health care in Massachusetts. Senator Cyr addressed a crowd in the State House this week.
We spent $59 billion statewide. And so of that astronomical number, $17.2 billion is spent on mass health, $16.6 billion on Medicare, and $3.5 billion on public insurance options like home health care. That's a heck of a lot of taxpayer money for health care. Premiums have steadily increased in the last 5 years, over 12%, without a corresponding increase in access to care or in access to quality. This is a real burden, particularly on middle-income households who don't earn too much to qualify for any assistance but are still struggling to make ends meet. And they're really bearing the high cost of health care. For many families, middle-income families, up to 30% of their income, nearly $20,000. I've seen this in my own family. My family are business owners from the Cape, and small business owners have been trying to do the right thing by providing insurance, health insurance for their employees and their families, but have been left burdened by exorbitant healthcare costs. This is all a big, major challenge, but we don't have to settle for this. Last week, the Massachusetts Senate took a major step towards affordable, accessible, and high-quality health care. As I mentioned earlier, by a vote of 35-3, the Senate adopted my amendment, Healthcare is a Right, which charges the state with measuring the impact of the single-payer system of the cost and delivery of health care in Massachusetts. And what this amendment does is it empowers the state's healthcare experts to extensively and impartially study the potential benefits and the drawbacks of a single-payer healthcare system. And if the cost, if it is less costly, and we think it is, they have to develop a roadmap to get us there. Representative Garlick talked about the road that's led us here and the work that we have left to do. And I really think that having a path forward through the benchmark study really gives us something tangible, because I think we need to be honest that our healthcare system is so absurdly complicated that we could take a vote in this building tomorrow and the governor can sign it towards a single payer system, and that is going to take years and years and a whole host of process and time. And so we've got to unwind this system that we have. requirements. And so that's really what this single payer benchmark bill does. I'm eager to see this go forward in the Senate, in the House. Rather, if we could do this 35-3, hoping that our colleagues in the House can do the same. And I really want to close and acknowledge how far we've come in the last 5 years. Since Senator Eldridge filed this original amendment in 2012, then it was 50-22. What a difference 5 years makes. That difference is thanks to all of your work. More and more of the people who are getting elected to this building are coming in with a commitment towards exploring and moving towards a single payer system because of the work that you are doing. So please keep it up. We cannot wait. We really have an opportunity here in Massachusetts to lead once again. And I just really thank you for being here, your time, sharing your stories, and all the work that you've done and you will do to move us forward. Thank you.
The amendment requires the state's nonpartisan Health Policy Commission to assess the potential performance and impact of a single-payer healthcare system. Single-payer healthcare, by the way, is a system financed by taxes that covers the cost of essential healthcare for all residents, with costs covered by a single public system. The amendment was adopted as part of a larger healthcare reform bill under consideration by the Senate. Construction is underway on a brand new entertainment complex at Cape Cod Mall. 10 Pin Eatery is a joint venture between Cape Cod-based Ryan's and Chapin's Restaurant Group. The new 25,000 square foot entertainment complex is slated for completion in February. We'll join the Friends of Bass River and the town of Yarmouth this Saturday, November 18th for a cleanup of the river. Meet at 10 o'clock in the morning at Bass River Beach to pick up debris. Garbage bags and gloves will be provided, hot chocolate too. The group will break into small teams and visit various locations along the river. All are welcome, regardless of age or ability. Sources of marine debris include littering, trash blowing out of trash cans, and cigarette butts washing into storm drains that connect to the ocean. Marine debris can harm sea life and humans, and beachgoers have the potential to injure themselves. Debris also poses a threat to navigation. Well, a brief moment of editorial here on Cape Media News. Last week, we ran a story on how women have been showing up to Barnstable County Commissioners' meetings in recent days to show objection to a tweet posted by Commissioner Ron Beatty on October 16th. Well, Mr. Beatty finally responded to my request for more information, and here is what he said. Quote, "Now that the matter has been unnecessarily twisted into a local controversy and raised to a fever pitch by those who apparently have an extreme left-wing political agenda to promote, let's go back and reread the brief October 16th personal opinion that I expressed on Twitter. The so-called Me Too Twitter trend is a bunch of nonsense in my humble opinion. I've never said anything at all about a movement, about women, about sexual harassment, or anything else remotely related to these topics. I said the Twitter trend and how it is formulated is nonsense and nothing more. That is a documented fact, period. Other than that, there is not really much else to explain from my end. It's pretty cut and dry. If others have misinterpreted and exaggerated the episode, then unreasonably twisted into something that it in reality never was, then that's unfortunate. I cannot control what other people think, feel, and do. Thank you." Well, I'll leave it up to you, humble viewers, to decide. And that brings us to the end of this week's Cape Media News. Please join me next week for more. And if you have comments, questions, or news tips, feel free to email me at news@capemedia.org. You can also keep up with our blog on that website as well. With Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.